I fangirl over Halloween.
Thing.
But anyways, I got it, and then she got me the skull thing.
Do you have a name for him?
The skeleton? Or the...
He needs a better name.
I know, he's called Scully on the app.
Scully's nice.
I'll think about it.
Okay.
I can rename him on the app.
Let us know if you guys have suggestions.
Anyways, he's sitting in my garage just for no reason.
Is he 8 feet?
He's just 6.5.
Oh. Seems much larger.
I mean, anyway.
What would you name a over 6 foot skeleton?
The talks. Badass.
Yeah. All right, Dani. Let's get into it. What do we got?
A man whose life was a train wreck of crime, violence, and destruction. Bruce A. Marchant. He started in the early 80s by burning down his own mobile home in Nebraska. From there, it was a steady descent. Armed robbery in Georgia, shootouts with Idaho deputies, years of prison stints filled with violence, and even a suspicious inmate death that was never prosecuted.
The drama already.
But the darkest chapter came in 2016, when 18-year-old Boise State freshman Sierra Bush vanished. Her body was later discovered in the mountains near Idaho City. The man responsible? The same Bruce Marchant, who had spent decades bouncing between parole boards, prison cells, and police standoffs. This is the story of a man who seemed destined to destroy everything around him, and a young woman whose life ended far too soon. Sources used today are articles from My Favorite Bitch, The Idaho Statesman,
Love her.
Daily News, The Lincoln Star, and Coeur d'Alene Press.
Okay, already this is full of scandal and ridiculousness. So I am really intrigued already to see what's in store. All right, everyone, welcome back to the Lethal Library. We are a true crime podcast focusing on cases in the Pacific Northwest and especially Idaho. Dani has clearly another amazing story for us today. I have not heard of this one. Hope that it's new for you too, but we are always open to seeing your thoughts. So reach out, and Dani, let's get into it.
Let's go. This is going to span... We're starting in 1982.
Oh, wow.
So, and it's going to span till 2016.
No shit.
Yeah, this is a little a la Robin Rowe-esque type of a story where, you know, I was trying to think about the layout of the story, and I'm like, we're just going to start at the beginning and go to the end. Because the build-up, yeah.
It sounds like things escalate. And it's crazy to think, because like with Creech and Robin Rowe, that these were people operating in the same time frames, doing all these crazy things. So to put it into context with other cases that we've done is crazy to me.
You got away with mad shit back in the day.
Yeah. Not no more. Come on, Marchant, what you got?
In January 1982, Bruce A. Marchant, 26, was charged with first-degree arson in Nebraska. Prosecutors claimed he threw a blanket over a kerosene heater during a fight with his wife.
Oh, my God.
Arson investigator Michael Hotch said Marchant had thrown a blanket over the heater in the living room. The mobile home, valued at $9,000, was a complete loss.
Those things go up like a box of matches. The older ones.
Yeah. Marchant's wife, Sandra, told detectives that he forced her and their 3 children, ages 6, 3, and 1, to stay in the home for some time. But Marchant denied the claim, saying he woke the children to get them out safely.
I don't know about this because I can totally picture a psychopath type man trying to
And why
the
was
annihilator.
why would she make that up?
Yeah.
He admitted he had set the mobile home on fire, trying to kill himself, but, quote, chickened out
It's a weird way to kill yourself.
with your family inside.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Most people that are truly suffering and wanting to end it don't want anything bad to happen to those around them.
To their loved ones.
This is a very different scenario.
In April, Sandra filed for divorce.
Go girl.
Get out.
Do it, lady.
Bye.
Yes. It's so hard to do. There's so many obstacles.
Well, and 3 small children. You're a fucker trying to kill me and my children.
Yeah.
That's how I would be. Like, they're my kids now.
If he didn't really try to do that, I don't see why someone would leave so abruptly and be like, absolutely the fuck not. If it was truly an accident, no one's going to be like, I got to get the hell out of here. No, this sounds like she was fearful.
Marchant was convicted of third-degree arson and sentenced to 90 days in jail and 5 years probation.
Third-degree arson. That is incredible because I feel like I know that it would be harder to prove or whatever, but that is attempted murder times 4. 3 kids and your wife.
Yeah.
And you get, oh my gosh, it's just ridiculous.
Baby sentence. That's what it was.
That's not even a slap on the wrist. That's a slight breeze across your neck when you didn't want it.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Well, he's a bad dude.
Yeah.
So I will let you know how bad of a dude he is. Here we go. A year later, in 1983, he was convicted of armed robbery in Georgia and sentenced to 10 years in prison. So I will say this I tried to find more information on this. One place I read that it was in Texas that he was convicted. I even went to my Pacer account trying to find any information on federal crimes because he either robbed, because he did get convicted of a federal crime. He either robbed a post office or he robbed a bank.
Damn.
He did something of that nature, and you're going to see it later on in the story because I tried to hunt this down.
But it was for sure a federal crime.
It was
either of those.
Yeah, because he ends up spending time in federal prison for this conviction, and then he's in and out. It's kind of messy. So I included that because, armed robbery is a big deal anyway. But then you're going to see him jumping in and out from state prison to federal prison. You're going to be like, what the hell? So I searched. I tried. I went everywhere. I couldn't find any articles on it that gave me great detail. I got some of this information from some parole hearings that he had later on in life. So
I see. But if you know, shoot us an email.
Please.
Comment on our Facebook.
we'll give an update.
We'll give you a shout out if you like, or if you don't want a shout out, we don't have to do that. But if you know, we'd love to hear.
By 1986, Marchant was in a Seattle jail where he met Victor Wright. Both were released on December 1st, 1986.
Twinning.
Marchant had been held on a failure to appear for reckless driving and Wright for petty theft. Marchant would later say he was a derelict and a drunk living on the streets of Seattle when he became friends with Wright.
Very transparent, very honest.
Listen, you're going to hear some more stuff in here, but I'm telling you, Wright was like, oh, dude, you have a car? Let's be friends. Because Marchant did have a car.
100%.
I think that's not that Marchant's any fucking thing to write home about, but he did have a vehicle.
A friend with a car when you have no car and you're a derelict homeless?
Let's go.
Living in luxury, baby.
Best buddies.
It's a vehicle. It's a home. It's your new bestie who you're twinning with on your release date. It's like you're being born together back into the world. What a treat.
On December 5th, 1986, Marchant and Wright came to northern Idaho. Wright wanted to join the white supremacist Aryan Nations movement, Class Act. They were going to meet Reverend Richard Butler, the head of the Aryan Nations Church. Did not know they had a church.
Church
Yeah,
quotations.
you
heavily.
racist son of a bitch. Marchant later said he didn't know that was Wright's intention and had not come to Idaho to join the racist group. He was just kind of he's just following his buddies' directions.
I believe that. You guys are jailbird rebirth twins at this point, and that's a little bit of a long drive. It never came up, not even once.
Yeah, Seattle too. Yeah, it's not Spokane.
Yeah.
It's Seattle.
Not the Spokane.
So the pair came over and stopped into the Hayden Inn and had a few drinks, where they met Robert Parks and Randy Corden. What is up with these people just casually hooking up in bars? We did another episode where they're like, they became besties. Like, yeah, let's go. Like, what?
Listen, I think most women will understand like besties for the night, and every once in a while,
Girls in the bathroom, the best.
the girls in the bathroom are going to make sure you're not texting your ex. They're going to fix your makeup. They're going to hold your hair while you puke. They're going to call you an Uber. They're going to sing songs with you. They're going to do all that. Yes, besties for the night. Maybe every once in a while it turns into like a true bestie. I don't know. I'm a hermit. Maybe some of y'all that are the social butterflies always meet besties in the bathroom. But yes, we've had many cases where it's like,
They went to the bar and drank, and then
they didn't stop talking to each other for like 6 months. What's that?
so they went in with the drinks and met Robert Parks and Randy Corden. Marchant and Corden convinced Parks to go show them the Aryan Nations location north of Hayden. Corden was just some dude that he met in the bar that afternoon. And he's like, hey, yeah, let's go see where it's at.
Hey, where's the clan meeting though?
And also, mind you, just remember, Marchant want nothing to do with the Aryan Nations.
Marchant or no? It was.
Yeah, Marchant said he didn't, that wasn't his gig. It was Wright's gig.
Oh, right.
But you know where Wright stayed? Right in the bar.
I thought this was your deal, dude.
Right? He didn't give a shit. Yeah. He stayed back. Marchant, who did not come to Idaho to join the Aryan Nations, met some other dude, and the three men got in the car together. But instead of following Park's instructions, Marchant drove out to a logging road. How does this even wait, Steph. I don't even know how this fucking happens. You're meeting a stranger, going to the Aryan Nations, but then you stop on a logging road? And guess what?
Drinking.
They threatened Parks with a 12-gauge shotgun and ordered him to get out of the car.
What the hell happened?
Drinking.
Drugging. And I love that TikTok. You guys have to go see Dani do the judge too. Drugging? Oh. I love that.
But when Parks attempted to walk away, Marchant fired shots at him.
The fuck?
Yeah. He's like, no. We're serious. Parks was told to lie down on his stomach and was robbed of about $250. Marchant told him he would kill him if he told the police. But after the robbery, they brought Parks back to the tavern.
Wow.
Where he called the police.
Chivalry isn't dead at this point. It really isn't dead. They brought him back. They gave him a ride back. How sweet.
And this is where Marchant and Wright hooked back up. And they went to a next door business, the Foxy Inn.
Ooh, Foxy.
Where Marchant got into an argument with the manager, Bob Spur. While the men were arguing, Wright went to the car and retrieved the shotgun.
Not again.
Just wielding firearms.
Brandishing. Oh.
When Wright walked back into the business, a couple of women got up to leave, and Wright asked if there were any more women who would like to leave. Chivalry.
My gosh, what a gentleman.
I know. Just about that time, two Kootenai County Sheriff's deputies arrived on the scene. Because remember, the other guy that got robbed? He called them. When Marchant and Wright left the tavern, there's a police car following them.
Okay.
This quickly turned into a police chase. And they chased the two into a cul-de-sac in a residential area.
Uh-oh.
This is like a movie. Okay. Marchant turned his car to face the police.
Dun dun.
And Wright got out of the car and was like, yo, you got me. So he staggered towards the officers and surrendered. Marchant refused officers' order to surrender. The police even let Wright go back to the vehicle to try to talk Marchant into putting down the gun.
Talk some sense into your buddy, your prison twinsy.
Who does that?
The cops that don't want it, they're like, if you could do it.
Here, yeah, well,
wait here.
We'll let you go.
I trust you, man. He doesn't really like us.
Next thing you know, Marchant and Wright were wrestling on the ground with the gun.
Wonderful.
And Wright finally escaped and fled back towards the police.
Hell to the no. It's turning into WWE out here. He destroyed the Gimme a pile driver with a shotgun.
And the whole time Marchant's threatening to shoot his new best buddy, Wright.
You guys are twins.
And that's when Marchant got out of the car with a shotgun and fired a shot at the police.
Can't do that.
But during all this chaos with the fighting over the gun and rolling around on the ground, other officers, because of the cul-de-sac, had positioned themselves behind Marchant, tucked in with some trees.
They went full SWAT mode.
Yeah, he was, you are surrounded. He was really surrounded.
Truly surrounded.
And when Marchant caught that, he turned around and pointed the shotgun at those officers. And that's when they fired. Marchant was shot 3 times. When he fell to the ground, a small dog jumped out of the car and began licking his face.
Is this a Hallmark movie or a Cops episode?
What the dog doing?
Now, upcoming Hallmark movie sponsored by Cops. Bad boys, what you want? I can just hear it now.
Where did the dog come
I
from?
don't know, but the dog was like, Dad,
Are you injured?
You all right?
Well, they got him good because he was shot 3 times. Paramedics took Marchant to the hospital. While in the hospital, this guy, Marchant joked, quote, "Can you find enough electricity for this chair?" Referring to his hospital bed. And he was making all kinds of off-color comments like that.
You're literally, if you're in the hospital instead of jail right now or dead, you're in like a 5-star resort. Like, ask for the pain meds and the good hospital food, whatever the best meal on their menu you can find, because this ain't gonna last long.
He had surgery for gunshot wounds to the chest, face, and hand.
Yeah, because they're not shooting to maim if you shoot at them.
I can't believe getting shot 3 times and you're breathing. Wright was held on 2 misdemeanor charges. One for displaying a dangerous weapon and the other for resisting arrest. Listen, was it really resisting arrest when they let him go to try to confiscate the gun from his buddy? I feel like he was cooperating fully at that point.
I think so too. It was Marchant.
He was driving. It was his car.
And I've seen a TikTok recently of someone that had a dash cam that does something and ends up in a high-speed chase. And there is a friend in this front seat that is like, bro, you're going to kill us, please. And he's like trying to grab the wheel a little bit, but the guy's very calm and basically like, fuck everything. Almost like he's on a suicide mission. But the friend is like, please stop, bro. And then they're going way too fast for him to get out. So I cannot imagine being in that type of situation. And I don't think if you can't prove that they were encouraging it or whatever, a passenger shouldn't be. Because some of these dudes do it with their wives and stuff. They get in high-speed police chases and their wife is like, please get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I just feel, I mean, he did.
He tried to help them. That should count for something.
It should count for
everything. It should cancel out PEMDAS. Maybe you resisted arrest. We don't know. But then you encouraged arrest. Cancel out.
Cancel.
PEMDAS. It's science. Science, bitch.
Corden, 29, was charged with armed robbery. Remember his new best buddy? His other new best friend? He received that charge while he was already in jail for burglarizing a Hayden business twice. He was charged with 2 counts of second-degree burglary and 2 counts of grand theft for that conduct. So he, from what I gather, I think he either stole from his current place of employment or possibly post employment. It was the same business, so I'm not quite sure. So they'd already arrested him on that, and then they figured out he was the guy that was with Marchant, taking the guy out, taking Parks out to the logging road to steal $250. Stupid. So anyways, so he was already in jail. Not a hard fine.
Burgling all over the place. I love that word.
Gordon's parents posted a $7,500 bond for his release.
Damn, that's a lot back then. That's a lot now.
It's a lot now. He was released on May 13th, 1987. The next day, Cornyn died in a car accident when he failed to negotiate a curve on Highway 41 near Rathdrum. The car flipped 5 times and Gordon was ejected.
That's an insane crash. And failed to negotiate a curve. I'd say that's a euphemism. That means I'm picturing like the same thing that happened at NNU. We've mentioned this several times, guys. Look up the article of someone literally not slowing down for a curve, probably going 100 miles an hour and jumping a house and going in through the roof of another. This is what I'm picturing.
Yeah.
Failing to negotiate a curve.
And there's some background there. I think that he might have had either some drinking or substance issues. Yeah. And so, just getting out of jail, he might have been like, it's my time to shine. Let's go get this. I don't know. I didn't find anything else. But
maybe you feel invincible. Listen, I was young.
Maybe he was angry, pissed.
Too fast in a car before myself.
But just one day
later, gone. That's crazy.
Marchant pled guilty to armed robbery and assaulting a police officer.
Well, you did.
In June at age 31, he was sentenced to 2 20-year indeterminate sentences to run concurrently. He said he shot at the feet of police officers to intentionally draw fire, hoping they would kill him.
Suicide by cop.
Maybe. Don't think so. Marchant was released in 1992. I don't even know how this happens. In 1994, he violated parole and went to federal prison in 1996. And then in 1999, he was back in the Idaho Department of Corrections custody. So that's why I had to include that little part about a post office, or he robbed something federal.
It was very serious.
And then he's flip-flopping and violating parole and going here and there. Anyway, I wanted to. I looked. When he committed the Idaho crimes in 1986, federal prosecutors charged him with his parole violations. Therefore, when he was released from prison in 1992, he was sent to a federal prison in California. 4 years later, the Idaho Parole Board received reports that Marchant had been a disciplinary problem since he arrived at the federal prison. He refused to accept a move from special housing unit to general pop, refused to get up and work, and he refused an order to go to his room during quiet hours, telling an officer that he wanted to be sent to segregation unit where he could be, quote, waited on.
A diva. Diva down.
Marchant was up for parole in February 1996, but due to all of this behavior, he was not released until April of 1999. He was then returned to custody of the Idaho Department of Correction on parole violations. And those years are also filled with disciplinary problems. Look, they're like, no.
Not him. Oh my God.
So he's just like in and out, like parole violation. Okay, send him here. Another parole violation, federal, parole violation, Idaho. You're fucked. Oh, he's a disciplinary problem? We see you. Come here. Come here.
Yeah. Certified menace.
Absolutely. In 2000, Marchant's cellmate, Joseph Edmund Chastain, age 38, said he had fallen on prison stairs on July 2nd, 2000. He died the next day in a medical prison cell. He had suspicious bruises in his abdominal area that were inconsistent with a fall. And an autopsy said he died from abdominal bleeding.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Chastain had recently been sentenced to 20 years to life for a Canyon County robbery. Marchant admitted to authorities that they had had a fight and that he had probably killed him.
Oh.
A disciplinary report indicated that Marchant told a correction officer that he had killed Chastain, but no charges were ever filed. Ada County Sheriff Patrick Orr said, quote, "It appears the prosecutor reviewed the investigation and decided in October of 2001 not to file any criminal charges against Marchant."
That's a shame.
It's a fucking admitted that,
I probably, whatever I did, bro, I killed him.
hello, open and shut. Hiller.
I also think it's kind of the attitude of the system. I mean, this guy was a convicted robberist, since we're making up words today.
It's fucking robberous.
Anyways, you've been convicted, whatever. That poor guy. Because if you look at Marchant's history, I would not put it past him at all.
And he basically said,
I probably did it because I was fighting him. And then that guy, being newly to prison, I was like,
the oldest excuse in the book fell down the stairs.
Yeah.
All right.
But Marchant's shit continued. When he was up for probation in 2003, the board declined to release him early, noting, quote, "His history is serious and the commission considers him high risk." No
Shocker.
shit.
Yeah.
But he was finally released on September 26, 2008, after completing his sentence.
Oh, 8. So 5 years later. Okay.
But I mean, he's been in since 86, right? So
And every time he's out, he is frolicking in crime. Just absolutely doing a triple axel on the crime.
yeah. And he doesn't stop. He has a few good, clean years, maybe. I don't know.
Where he wasn't caught.
So we're now to 2014. He has managed to keep his nose clean for 8 years.
Impressive.
I
For
doubt
him. For him.
I doubt it. I just think this is only.
Luck.
I think he was in and out of trouble with parole, but
They couldn't pin it on him. No, because he seems like he's gallivanting.
he's manipulative.
Yeah.
In 2014, 2 roommates of Marchant
Oh, God.
said he had physically assaulted both of them at an Orchard Street house. And I want you to get an idea of what this house is. It's not quite a halfway house, but it's someplace for people maybe down on their luck,
Yeah.
mental illness, people getting out of
There's assistance.
addiction. Right. There's a place where you can go rent a room.
You got to learn to share, though. And that's very tough for someone like Marchant.
Well, one of the roommates said he had a nasty disposition.
Nasty.
Miss Jackson. Quote, "If he doesn't get his way, he will get violent." We've seen it. Marchant was accused of hitting them in October of 2014, which resulted in a misdemeanor battery case. According to court records, Marchant did intentionally and unlawfully touch or strike the women, but the charges were later dropped due to a negotiated deal. One of the women said Marchant groped her, and when she said no and walked away, he punched her twice in the back.
What a fucking loser. I'm so disgusted.
Just give me a second.
Punched in the back. What a toddler response to not getting your unholy needs met. Go away, you fucking dweeb.
Another roommate, Terrell Hall, said Marchant slammed him against a wall with no provocation whatsoever.
We're just slamming, He's literally living the WWE life. And back then I think it was WWF still, but
No, he's just like, oh, I don't like you. I'm going to get physical. It's just,
the people's elbow.
he said Marchant often talked about sexual things and was rude to women.
Shocker. Wow.
Terrell said Marchant was evicted from the house on Orchard Street after the 2014 battery case.
Thank God for those people having to live with his psychopath ass.
In February 2016, Marchant's psychosocial rehabilitation worker contacted police. She said Marchant was sexually aggressive toward her. The behavioral health worker told police she was just eating lunch at the Maple Grove house, another house like the Orchard house, when Marchant threw her food over the couch. And when she went to bend over to pick it up, he made sexually suggestive and degrading comments to her. Marchant then grabbed her shirt and tried to reveal her breasts.
What?
Even though she had repeatedly warned Marchant about the inappropriateness and disrespectfulness of these types of comments, he did not care.
And listen up. I know as women, we all have 1,000 stories that are in a similar vein to this. But this is so...
This was her job.
Yes.
She's a professional.
Exactly.
You're not
And so
getting catcalled on the street.
Most men are much sneakier about it if they're, that they could explain it away as an accident. Where this is just absolute toddler behavior and unbelievable. And that's, I'm just
And she is a professional. She understands how to deal with this type of aggressiveness. And it's not,
And so if it was that shocking to her,
it was, if it was too much for her, it was too much. She probably had her pay,
it was shocking to her, is what it sounds like. And that's saying a lot, dealing with these type of behaviors constantly.
Well, he would say things like, "Are you wearing a bra?" And other suggestive comments.
Are you an 11-year-old boy? Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Another worker had quit working with Marchant after only 3 weeks due to his behavior. And these guys are professional.
And listen up. Even I can be professional. If you're listening to this and you know me in a work setting, no, you don't. But we're all professional. This is eons beyond what you would expect to encounter.
We're going to get serious.
God.
On September 27th, 2016, Mary Helen Green received a text from her ex-husband, Phil Bush. It said, quote, "When you have a chance, give me a call. I have not seen Sierra since Sunday morning." Sierra Green had last been seen a few days earlier on September 24th near her family home at Maple Grove and Goddard in Boise. She was supposed to meet up with friends on Sunday evening around 5 o'clock at the Boise State Albertsons Library to discuss creating an art club for students who were not art majors. Genius. I love that.
Yeah.
The group showed up to the library, but Sierra never came. And they texted her, but they got no response, which was out of character for Sierra. Boise police began investigating the case as a missing person. Mary and her husband, Bart Green, suspected Sierra had been abducted. Sierra's car was still parked outside her house. Mary was sick with worry about her only daughter's disappearance.
And we hear this over and over again. And I know there's rules for when people are adults. And I don't know how you would.
She was
guidelines.
18.
Yes. And I know it's technically an adult. But even people that are 35, 45. If you had called and texted me and I had viewed it and not gotten back to you, I can be a little flaky sometimes, but I would never disappear for a week at a time from you.
Or 2 or 3 days from your parents,
yes,
or your partner. When you know something, I just wish that there was, and I do see a little bit of attitude changing, but it's I know that if my partner did not come home from work and did not respond to my text, within 4 or 5 hours, I would be panicking because it's not.
Already tried to, oh, maybe there's this.
Maybe he's
and
stuck
you
on a.
know.
Right.
And I wish that there was like a box that police could check of this is a person that fucking knows. Because I feel like in the cases where it's a very flighty person that goes to Costa Rica,
Because we've had
goes travels internationally without telling people. I don't know how to put that into a form or to if A plus B equals C, but is there someone that's like, no, this person would always answer my text if they were on their deathbed.
Right.
So
You just know.
something's fucking wrong. And, the first 48 hours, how many we're not asking for the choppers and the infrared and the this and that. Like,
Can you just start?
start it?
Can you get the phone company to ping her phone?
Yeah. Can you get some records?
Can we start somewhere?
saying she's texting somebody or she's purchasing.
And she might not want to talk to me, and I don't know why, but that's fine. Just get a hold of her.
She alive. Yeah. So sorry to take that on a sidetrack, but it's so because there's so many cases that God, what if,
Well, Sierra Bush, she was 18 and was a
baby.
first-year Boise State University student.
Oh my God.
And she's very smart. She had entered her freshman year with 12 college credits earned in high school. Get it, sis.
Let's go.
Some people knew her as Simon. I think she was gender fluid. One friend, Evan Obeen, quoted Sierra. He said, quote, "If I can be as weird as I am, be as you are." I love that. She had volunteered. She was also a volunteer at the Idaho Humane Society for a couple of years, primarily working in the cattery.
What a sweetheart.
Yeah. And that just goes back to like she was thinking about creating a club for people who weren't art majors. And she's like, let's get more people into art, even if they aren't art majors. She was very involved.
Well, and having that, because it can be very siloed in college where like, this is my major, I can't focus on anything else. But people are so multifaceted and so many talents that why not? Even if it's for your own hobbies. And I think that that's bred into a lot of people of our generations is you've got to make money on your hobby. No, you can do your hobby if you're fucking terrible at it and have fun. If it brings you joy, if you're a terrible cook and you want to cook meals that aren't good, if you garden and kill half the things, if you paint and it looks like a toddler did it, but you had fun doing it,
Do it.
you don't have to turn it into a side hustle. Like, fuck that shit.
I golf and I pay a lot of money to golf and I suck. But I enjoy doing it.
And
that's a simple example.
and listen, I pay a lot of money to ride along on a golf cart and spectate as if I'm like a professional golf commentator.
Love that. That would be a fun TikTok. She lived with her mother and stepfather until about a month after she graduated from high school. And then she went to live with her father, Phil Bush, in his brand new duplex. Her stepfather, Bart Green, a Meridian attorney, said, quote, "She has never exhibited any signs of mental health problems. She's never, to our knowledge, engaged in any risky behavior or shown any propensity to run away. She has never shown any signs of suicidal ideation or depression. She has always been a very timid, introverted, very studious individual."
So an extreme worry. They crossed off all of
They're like, no.
Like, she's not on drugs. She's not a suicidal person. Yeah.
She's not depressed. She's a little bit more quiet, but she's still involved in things.
And she responds to people.
Yeah. On October 23rd, Sierra's naked body was found in Boise County, south of Idaho City near Morris Creek. Police did not initially say she was murdered, but called her death suspicious. Look, I'm a little pissed off with this investigation because they started off with not wanting, and there's a little bit more down here, just call it what it is.
Yes.
She was abducted. Like the parents said, I think she was abducted. Instead of that, she's a missing person.
You can't say. Like,
Because her mother and her stepfather were convinced she was murdered.
yeah.
The Boise Police Department worked with the Boise County Sheriff's Office, with the Boise City Police taking the lead. Sierra's autopsy was performed in Ada County, and investigators said it would be several weeks before they received any test results. The police conducted nearly 200 interviews while investigating Sierra's death. Now, I guess, now that they found her, they can say she was abducted and murdered. It just kind of, during the research, it just kind of irritated me how they were so look,
People need to know, and that might cause someone that's like, oh, someone died, like someone was murdered, not just an accidental death. They might say, when I saw her at this point, or when I saw someone else with her.
or even at the point where she was missing, there was clues that she had been abducted. And
Or a business might remember and be like, oh, let me save those camera files.
right. No, it was just, I didn't like how they came out and just said she's a missing person.
This is a lot.
Missing persons, look, I'm going to talk about it later, but when you find a substantial amount of blood in somebody's bedroom, they're probably not just a missing person.
Yeah.
And so that's what fucking irritated me.
Accidentally cut themselves, and coincidentally they were planning on running away without telling anyone. How rare would that be? Stop.
In early December, authorities issued a warrant for Bruce Allen Marchant for the murder, rape, and kidnapping of Sierra.
Oh, shit.
Marchant was arrested in New York City on December 8th.
New York City. Big for a tater guy. Wow.
Detectives learned he was in a New York City VA hospital and flew out to arrest him. Marchant had checked himself in 4 days earlier. Bart Green, stepdad, told Idaho Statesman that he and his wife did not know Marchant. He thanked countless law enforcement officers in the investigation, including those in Boise, Wisconsin, and New York, as well as the U.S. Marshal Service and the FBI.
Damn.
As much shit as I talked about, the Boise police, I feel like, didn't handle this correctly from the get-go. But also, can I talk a little bit more about Sierra, just really quick? The cute thing at her that happened. So she was in the cattery. She wore bow ties all the time. So after she was found, as a memorial to her, they did kind of a benefit thing out at the Humane Society. And a lot of the cats were wearing bow ties.
Oh, my God.
She had a huge vigil at Boise State University, too. The whole, the community really came together. She was just a sweet person. So I just had to say
that's
that.
one of those things I feel like a lot of people don't realize how large of an impact that you make on people, that, people remember how you make them feel.
Yeah.
And
she did, because there were so many comments about her, and
she seems kind of like she was probably a more reserved person, not like a big social butterfly, but she made a meaning and lasting impact. And
absolutely.
so many people don't realize that, and it's easy to get, look at the world around us. It's easy to not be happy about shit. Like,
she was, and
she was. It sounds like she was full of hope and forging her way.
she was getting shit done.
Yeah.
12 credits already going into college.
Fucking shame.
And also not just doing schoolwork, but also creating clubs and volunteering. So
caring about her community and people around her and trying to make things better.
And if you're a cat girly, volunteering and being able to be around cats. I personally am not a cat girly, but I know cat girlies or cat guys, and they're all about their kitty cats. So
I was very anti-cat. I am pro-cat now. We don't have a cat right now, but we had a cat that changed our minds. And I'm like, you know what? These cats are kind of fucking cool.
I maybe could, but Jared's allergic, so I don't even entertain.
It's not in the cards for you.
No.
But it might be for me. And we'll see.
And Harry's kind of like a cat.
He really is.
So fucking high maintenance. He is
Good for
so.
him.
Oh, he's so high maintenance. Okay.
His pronouns are cat dog.
Oh,
Love
God. Such a dick. He is. Neighbors from the cul-de-sac where Sierra's and her dad's duplex was located said they remembered Marchant. One neighbor, Justin Griggs, recalled Marchant as being very quiet, and he said he kept to himself. Quote, he definitely wasn't all there. I don't know if it was from mental illness or drugs. Another neighbor said that she thought the home was a halfway house, talking about where Marchant lived.
Okay.
She said Marchant was friendly but wondered if he was disabled or mentally ill. Phil Bush, Sierra's father, was known to help people he met through Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous. After Marchant's arrest, the Boise County Coroner's Office released its determination that Sierra's death was a homicide. As far as the manner of death, they said it was a type of asphyxiation but would not specify details. So Marchant's arrested in New York, and of course, he did not waive extradition. He would have a court date in New York in February 2017. I have a fun fact. Do you know in order to be extradited, the act must be considered a crime in both the requesting and requested jurisdictions?
I didn't know that, but it makes sense because what if you like marijuana and the state where you're at is like, we don't think that's bad. Like you want us to put our resources because there's travel officers, and so they're like, why would we be hauling someone off when we don't think it's a crime? That I never thought about that in detail. Sorry if y'all heard me just cracking my knuckles. I know ASMR. Maybe you liked it. Let us know. I don't know.
I know. I just looked into it a little bit. I want to dig deep into extradition, which, can I just tell you, I could not spell that word to save my life because I want to spell it a different way. Every time I wrote that down, I typed it.
Thank God for spelling.
It was underlined red every time.
Can I tell you? Recommend? I know how it's spelled. I can't type it out correctly because it doesn't look right the way that it's right. And I will autocorrect and right click and spell check every time. Recommend. Why? I spell way more complicated words than that. There's so many more that I cannot fucking do recommend. And I have to use it a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I meant? You know what I meant?
You should just have autocorrect like they do on your texts.
Well,
come on, Microsoft, get with it.
Sometimes that's even worse. So who knows what it would have put in there? I don't know.
On February 3rd, 2017, Marchant appeared in a New York City courtroom for his extradition hearing. He did not return to Idaho after that hearing because a warrant releasing Marchant to Ada County authorities, which needed to be signed by Governor Andrew Cuomo, had not been filed by the court.
Fucking Cuomo. As if we needed another reason. As if we needed another.
That was just for you, sis.
I'm not going to forget that.
Marchant's next court date was set for March. In a hearing on March 24th, Judge Larry Stephen is spelled with a PH. Larry Stephen PH.
It's good old Larry.
Good old Larry denied a writ of habeas corpus filed by Marchant challenging his detention. The judge signed the papers ordering Marchant's extradition and asked Idaho to pick him up on April 6th. So in order for this extradition to happen,
a lot of boxes got to be checked.
The governors have to both sign. They
have to do a pinky promise.
Pretty much.
They have to kiss it.
Yeah. I would just think this would be handled more by like police authorities.
I know you got to get.
Or an attorney general, something like that. No, we got to get the big dogs out And apparently the big dogs were too busy to be signing some paperwork.
They have to do like a hand clapping.
Yeah.
Bubblegum in a dish. How many pieces do you wish? They have to do a whole.
All of that.
It's in the law books, folks. Look it up.
That was fucking great. A tip to police identified Marchant as a potential suspect soon after Sierra's disappearance. Then came the Kuski crash. A report filed with the Idaho Transportation Department suggested that Marchant ran off a curve on US 12 and ended up in an embankment.
Those fucking curbs.
An Idaho County Sheriff's deputy who responded to the crash found no signs that Marchant tried to brake after leaving the road.
So you were Tokyo drifting.
Marchant's Ford was towed, and the deputy gave him a ride into town. Something there, they already had their eye on him somehow, some way. That's why I don't know.
Word was out.
But his Ford held crucial evidence in the case, and that's it's to a norm. It would look like a car accident. Yeah. They already had his number.
They're like, no, we're not letting you go on nothing, bitch.
When detectives spoke with Marchant, they asked him, and he admitted he knew who Sierra was, but he said he had no personal relationship with her. He also said that she had never been in his vehicle at any time for any reason, and he gave a DNA sample to the police.
And I feel like Maury right now, I'm just going to go ahead and spoil it. We've got the DNA results in, and they confirmed that was a lie. You are the suspect.
Yeah. So somehow Marchant purchased another vehicle and headed east. And how he purchased another vehicle is that he just applied for loans and loans and loans and loans and loans.
You're like, can I give you a 75% interest rate? He's like,
sure, let's go. He did get a little VA money. He was,
as one does,
retired from the Navy, from Vietnam. So it wasn't a whole lot of money.
It's enough to keep you going.
It's enough to apparently buy a car. It's probably buy or pay here. 33% interest is what he got.
Cole's car grill.
He left town while detectives were waiting for the test results.
Mm-hmm.
Sierra's blood was found in the webbing of a glove that was in the vehicle.
Ruh-roh.
DNA from Marchant and Sierra.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. Marchant drove as far as his gas money would take him, which was, Milwaukee. He spent several weeks at a VA hospital there and then drove to New York.
That's crazy to me because you would think that they'd have a VA hospital. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be going anywhere where I have to give my real name.
Yeah, but the VA is just checking you in. Like,
I want a seedy motel where I can say my name's like Joe Namath. And no one is, they're like, sure, Joe Namath.
Oh, well, and what do we do while waiting trial?
What?
We write a letter to the local newspaper.
Oh, I thought he was going to burgle something else. I was like, bank robbery?
Now he's like, let me talk about it.
And the press involved.
In a letter to the Idaho Statesman, Marchant conceded that he would probably be in prison for the rest of his life, but that was not his biggest concern. He wrote to say how difficult it had been to vote in the last presidential election in November of 2016.
This poor guy. Recount those fucking votes. He knows.
Around that time, he was in the VA in Milwaukee. Marchant said, quote, "There were 30 of us in there, and we were not allowed to vote."
Nuh-uh.
He claimed most all of us would have voted for Democrat Hillary Clinton. Marchant told the paper, "I think this needs looking into." The Idaho Statesman did look into it. They reached out to Ada County's chief election official. Phil McGreen said he couldn't find a record of Marchant being registered to vote in Idaho.
Gotta register, bruh.
And he wouldn't be eligible to vote in Wisconsin because he wasn't a resident there. But if he had been registered in Idaho, it would have been his responsibility to ask for an absentee ballot. Case closed. Check, check.
He's like, listen up, folks. There's a fucking conspiracy. I know that some girl might have been murdered, but here's the real.
The real problem is,
Let me tell you what's wrong with our country.
it was just,
Sir, you are an absolute fucking menace
thank you.
to society. And he's like, I'm doing this for our country. Take a nap, sir. We've heard enough.
On September 5th, Marchant pled guilty to first-degree murder in a plea deal with prosecutors. The rape and kidnapping charges were dropped. What happens in the plea deal? He got the big one. When Marchant was asked by 4th District Judge Jonathan Medema whether he committed first-degree murder, he replied, quote, "Yes, sir, Your Honor." The judge asked him why he pled guilty, and Marchant said that if the case went to trial, the court would have no choice but to give him the maximum penalty. And, quote, "I want to plead guilty because that's what happened." Judge Medina wanted to make sure that Marchant understood the consequences of pleading guilty, especially after Marchant claimed that he would receive $100,000 a year while in prison and that he had invented the Toyota Prius.
Also, ever heard of a Tesla? I made it. Ever heard of sliced bread? That was me. This motherfucker. I'm so sorry. What else? What else could he? Electricity? Who was flying a kite with a key on it? I was.
When the judge pressed Marchant again, which good for the judge, right?
Yes,
He's like,
thank you, Judge, for being like.
when the judge
listen
pressed
up.
Marchant again, asking if he understood what was going on in the court hearing, Marchant replied that he was not sleeping well, and that is why he seemed confused. Then Marchant said, quote, "I choked Sierra Bush with my hands until she died." Marchant's sentencing hearing was on December 6th. Mary Hillen told the court, quote, "I miss her smile, her laugh, and talking to her about everything. They were very close." Judge Medema said, quote, "In my view, Mr. Marchant is a dangerous person. Mr. Marchant has been dangerous for a long time
Thank you.
and will continue to be dangerous until the day he dies." Marchant was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. So, how did Marchant know Sierra?
How did they encounter each other?
Marchant had been renting a home from Phil Bush, Sierra's dad. Phil, this is what's so, Phil, because he was into helping people that needed help.
Oh my God.
Phil evicted him from the property due to misconduct. We all
Which
know.
everyone who ever encountered this motherfucker reported.
Neighbors said Phil had gone out of his way to help Marchant and others struggling with mental health and addiction issues. After kicking Marchant out, Phil even agreed to loan him cash, but Marchant never came to get the money. On the morning of September 25th, Marchant showed up at Phil and Sierra's house. Phil was at church. Although authorities didn't know whether Marchant came to the house that day to pick up cash or to get revenge for being evicted, they said that there was evidence that he had previously peeped in Sierra's windows. Marchant broke into the house that morning and raped and killed Sierra. There was a large amount of blood found on various surfaces in her bedroom.
Absolutely fucking terrible.
As of 2025, Marchant is 69 years old and in custody at the Idaho Maximum Security Institution. Bruce Marchant's life was a blueprint for chaos, arson, armed robbery, shootouts with deputies, endless parole violations, and a trail of violence that prison walls couldn't contain. In the end, it all led to the murder of Sierra Bush, an 18-year-old with her whole life ahead of her.
And I'm so sorry. I know that this is one case, but I'm so fucking sick of hearing this. again and again and again of either someone that's dancing on the lines of being jailed or not and different loopholes and this and that allow people to act. And I mean, this was acquaintances and therapists and other people are, this guy's out of control. Like,
And I feel like even advocating, like, I look at some of these stories that I research and the mental illness is a thing.
sure.
Like, and I feel terrible if you are mentally ill but if you're not taking your medication and you're a danger to society, there has to be an alternative so that other people do not get hurt.
The protections for people that are being harassed and stalked. And let's say if she knew that he was peeking in her window for months or years, or he was even going into their house and they couldn't really prove it. There's so many stalking cases where until you're physically harmed, too bad.
And also,
The law enforcement doesn't want to say that, but legally,
that's
what they can say. And so for this,
mental illness is a real issue, but it should not be an excuse.
and so no, like just like you said, it's not an excuse. So
And very sad. I mean, there was some funny incidents in the beginning with ridiculous choices, but in the end, I mean, and he was an old man.
Look at how it fucking ended up.
He was 61 years old and he did this.
What a fucking loser. I'm sorry.
Right.
Retire, bro.
And she was this tiny little thing and he's a big guy.
And making a positive impact. What a fucking shame. Fuck you, bro. Rot.
And
Is
he
all I have to
is.
say.
And he is.
And absolutely fuck you. Thank you for telling the story and doing that much research, because
What a shit show.
this spanned like a decade and a half, 2 decades.
Let's see. We started in 82. Ended up in 2016.
We're in the decades, and so this is, I know how much time it takes. So thank you, Dani. Thank you guys for just listening, and we love your comments and emails, and feel free. We love to chitty chat.
Let's do it.
Send us an email. Let us know what you want. We've got some new stuff coming, some more casual stuff of just us. We're good at yakking, aren't we, Dani?
Kind of, yeah.
we can yak for hours. So if that's what you're into, of just a casual yap session, we're doing it.
And we appreciate you listening. Word of mouth, huge. Go follow us on our
Tell your
socials.
friends.
Let us know if you think of any good TikTok ideas. We'll be happy to
Yes.
listen. We love to do these little, we put out some little snippets of our episodes, but we love to do a trend. Send it our way.
We're trying to be like the cool kids. Anyway, everyone, thank you for tuning in. I'm Stephanie, and I once broke my own nose with my knee.
And I'm Dani, and I hate big generators.
Fuck 'em. Bye.